Hi, welcome to my Maya tutorial class for beginners. In this video, I will show you how to model a mug or a cup, just like what you can see that I am holding. This is the physical mug that I model, and that is the 3D modeling you can see spinning on the screen. Who is this class designed for? The class is actually designed for absolute beginners, those who have passion to become a 3D modeling artist, both modeling and animation. So before we start the tutorial, like I said from the thumbnail, it's a step-by-step procedure. I will show you what you need to know and how you can go about it. The software I'll be using with you is 3D Autodesk Maya. Okay, before you get started in modeling, it is very important to have a reference. And what is a reference? A reference are images that are used to guide you as a modeler on how to model a particular object or a particular model. So from here, as you can see, this is a mug which I actually bought. Okay, then I decided to model it, at least for a start, for those who want to learn how to model. You have many references which you can download online to learn how to model a particular object, or when you are given a project, it's very important you get reference as much as possible. So in order to avoid copyright content, then I took my camera and took the pictures of the cup, as you can see here, the top view, also the bottom view, and also took another view again. Probably I actually on the light of my phone so that I can see it well. Okay, now then I actually jump into Photoshop to create the reference. Do not worry, you don't need to do this for now. I've provided a reference image which I'll be using. I just want to show you how I went about it in Photoshop. So this is the video. So when I imported all the images in Photoshop, then I started creating a group whereby I can merge all those pictures together in one place. So I started with zooming out the side view of the cup, then use one of the latest tools in Photoshop to remove the edge. Okay, now I noticed the first one was not that okay, so I decided to bring out this use the second image which I actually on my phone lights on. Okay, so it gave me something I need. Then I use a lasso tool to cut the side, also trying to remove the edges. So I also use the lasso tool. I noticed that I'm not getting it right, so I have to hold down shift with the lasso tool to get the areas I actually wanted, and that is what I was able to get. So from here I brought out the top view as well, then use the auto tool to cut out the edges. So this is the bottom view, also very important. So I also did the same thing by removing out the background, then bringing out the 3 images that I have grouped, that I have worked on. And I try to zoom both the top and the bottom to fit the to have the same size, which is very important. So from here I was trying to separate them, then I splitted them like this, okay, to have a nice layout. So from here I want to make sure, confirm that they are all on the same base, so I draw a line and push them down to that level. Okay, so from there then I exported it out in PNG format, and that is it. Now after exporting, then we have the reference image to use. So for those of you that want to follow along, I will leave a link in the description box of this video so that you can download this reference image. Alright, so let's get started. That talks about the introduction of Maya, okay, which explains the layout view of Maya, what you need to learn about Maya. So I'll leave a link to that video both in the description box of this video and also showing right away. Alright, so let's get started like we said. Okay, so at this junction, before we start this tutorial, please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please, I really urge you to do that. And also at the end of this video, if you find the video helpful, kindly give my video a thumbs up. I really appreciate. Let's dive into it. Alright, so let's start the new project. So let me save this first and select new. Okay, now this is what you will see. This is what you will see when you open up your Maya. Then you need to set up your project. It's very important. Setting up of projects in Maya helps you to let Maya understand where to get the source file, where to get the reference and all that things, and it also make your work more organized. Alright, so it has a lot of benefits which you need to always make sure you set up your project, both for personal use and for multi people working on a particular project. So alright, now when you look at this, you notice this is Maya 2018, and no matter what version of Maya you are using, starting from 2018 upward, the interface are more or less the same. Alright, probably with the new updates there might be a little bit of changes, but nevertheless, any version you are using, starting from Maya 2018 upward, you can still follow along with me. So we need to set the project like I said. So come over here, select file, okay, and select project window. So project window simply means where you want Maya to create your folder for you. It's very important. Alright, so from here select new. So once you select new, that is, it's going to save it on the desktop. Okay, so that's this place. This is a location to show you where it actually is going to save this project. So let's name this as YouTube Mug Tutorial. Okay, so once we do that, note something. Before I save this, let me minimize this, and let me minimize this and show you my desktop icon, since I'll be saving it on the desktop. So you notice from what you see here, we have nothing like this folder which is called YouTube Mock Tutorial. But immediately I select accept now, all this will be provided in that folder as well. So select accept. Okay, then minimize this again. So you will notice this is it now, YouTube. So this is it. From what you can see, YouTube Mock Tutorial. Okay, so which will click on it. Now you can see different folders that are being set here. So these folders will help. These folders will let Maya knows where and where to save needs to get a particular source for a specific project, which is very, very important. As we dive along, you continue to understand it the more. Let's proceed, shall we? So you select Maya, then we select file again, then select set projects. So at this point we want to tell Maya that Maya, hey, look at, whenever I need anything, take me to that folder. That is the YouTube tutorial mug we just created. So that's why we need to let it know that okay, it should take us to that folder, not a different folder. So select desktop. Let's locate that that folder, which is this, then select set. Alright, now from here we want to move in onto importing the images so that we can start with the modeling of the class. So before we do that, like I said, we need to let Maya know where it has to get us the source file. Alright, so open up your file again, then from the reference given to you, which I provided for you to download, so all you need to do is to copy. Probably it should be on your download folder. So locate it, copy it, then open your desktop. Alright, so open up the folder, then in the source image is where we need to import the image we just copied. So select paste to paste it there. Once that has been pasted, now we need to click on these 4 icons which you could see here. So click on it. Simply means it will divide the interface into 4 different views. Alright, so we want to import our image. So we want to import our image in this form. Okay, so this is the top view, as you can see, the front view and the side view. So we'll just be needing probably the front view, the top view, and also the side view. Okay, so we'll be needing these 3 views in order for us to model a perfect cup, which is very, very important. Alright, so when you click on this icon here, that is to, if we want to import the image in this scene into this scene, so you click on it, then you will notice immediately you click on it, you notice it took us to that folder we created, that is the YouTube tutorial, because we've set it and we've created a project. So Maya went straight into the source image since we are trying to import an image. Okay, so it's, as you can see, one of the reasons why you need to always bring in your very important to set a project. So you select on it. Now you select open. So this is what you have here. So before we continue, as a 3D modeling artist, it is always good for you to model based on the standard. Okay, that is, every object, every buildings, everything has a standard. So what I did was I went online to look at the size, height and depth of a mug. Okay, that's a standard one, and this is what I have. I have a diameter of 4.7 inches, height of 3.7 inches, and height of 3.7 inches and handle height of 2.9 inches. So we won't be using all of them, but we'll not be using the height and the diameter. Okay, so alright, so enough for us to get that specific dimension, let's make use of a cylinder. So when you select on this cylinder, you notice this is what you see. You can also see the top view here, you can see the front view here, and you can see the side view here. But there is no difference between this because round in shape, so you can hardly can you detect the side, but nevertheless, let's proceed. So from here, this will be a guideline for us on what to model. So once we've set this cylinder as based on the standard, okay, then we can now enlarge this mug to that height. All right, so which is very, very important for proper modeling. So from here, make sure you are on classic and select channel box. So when you select channel box, you notice this is P cylinder, and that is the meaning, that is the name here, poly cylinder, because it's a cylinder. So you click on it. We actually want to tweak some things first, okay? So let me select this image plane, which you can see here, then press W to bring out the move gizmo. Okay, so hold down your left click, select this icon and shift it to this side. Okay, that's for us to be able to see what we want to do here. Alright, so select this again, then select polygon cylinder. Now remember, like we said, standard height. Okay, so before we continue, all this is very important. So select on this guy running, this icon running, then you come there to settings. So from the settings, you can see here the linear here is set to centimeter, but the dimension I actually want to use is actually in inches, so I'll set it to inches. Okay, then select save. So once I've done that, now this is what I need to do. So from the height here, the height is 3.7 inches, 3.7 inches, then press enter. You will notice something, it went high. Okay, then it says the radius, but here we have the diameter. So half of a diameter gives us a radius. Now that the diameter given to us here is 4.7, all you need to do is to bring out your calculator, then input 4.7 divided by 2, so you have 2.35. So 2.35 is the radius we need to use. So from here, 2.35 and press enter. So once that is done, you will notice this. Okay, so in order for you to move around, hold down Alt and left click and drag. Hold down Alt, left click and drag. Okay, so when you drag your mouse around while holding down Alt, you will see the object where. Alright, now from here, we actually want to make sure that our object is on this thick line, because this is the cardinal point. Let me hide this so you can see what I'm saying. You notice from here, so just select on this place and press spacebar in order for you to view this as well. So you notice all these grid lines, we have one that is very thick and also have another one that is also thick. So this is just like your graph where you have your X and Y origin. Okay, so what we want to do, or what I want to do, is to make sure that that cylinder that I have, the base is actually on this line, which is very, very important. Okay, so select the cylinder. Now what I did initially to hide it was I press Ctrl+H. when you select your object, press Ctrl+H to hide the object. It's not deleted, but it's just hidden, so you can see what you want to look, so that you can see other things. Now if you want to unhide it, on the outline, select cylinder and select Shift H. Okay, so Ctrl+H to hide, Shift+H to unhide it. Alright, so from here we'll select this to go back to the perspective view, which you can see perspective view. So from here you will notice that when I press W, when I click on this and I press W, you notice there is a move. There is a, should I call it a move gizmo, okay, where if you select this, it take it up. You select, take it to this side, or you draw it nearer to you. So let me just undo that. Now, what we want to do, click on this back. What we want to do now is we actually want to make sure that this base here is actually sitting on these thicker lines. So to do that, well, we need to make sure that we move this our gizmo, okay, to a base, that is to somewhere here, to a base like this, so that we can use one of the tools in Maya to snap it to that region for us. Okay, to do that, first press D on the keyboard. Now you notice it has changed the gizmo, okay. Now what you need to do is hold down V on your keyboard. When you hold down V, you notice something has changed, okay. And as well, you can just select this. Instead of holding down V, you could just select this. But one of the shortcut to do it, hold down this, because we actually want to snap this object. Alright, we actually want to snap this object. So all these are explained in the introduction to Maya tutorial, so I urge you to watch that class before you proceed. Okay, so when you hold down V, then at the point where you actually want to snap it, because we want it to start from this origin here, so just click on that point. You notice I'm holding down Alt with my left click button to rotate around. You notice it has not moved from the center to that origin I actually want it to go. So again, if I want to move it to another point, okay, I can just hold down V and click on that region, then snap it directly. Alright, so but this is where I want it, so just hold down V and snap it like this. Very good. So then next, press W to return it back to the move gizmo, because if you did not do that and you left it like that, if you are trying to move the object again, you will notice that it's not moving. The reason is this the centralization of where you want the pivot to be has been adjusted. Okay, so press down your V again. So let me undo that. Alright, so press down W. So enough for you to move up and down. You notice the object is moving, and you can see it in the front view as well. Alright, now at this junction, we actually want to snap it to the grid. So all these lines you see are called grids. Okay, so we want to snap it to the grid. So select this icon here that shows something like lines, a magnetic grid. So you notice it has actually what? Changed. Okay, so if I deselect it, note it, so you can see it in a square. When I select this, it's now in a what? In a circle, which means it is ready to what? Snap based on any grid. So select this icon, that is the down button here. Okay, and if yours is on the upper button, probably peradventure yours is like this. Okay, so it's still the same thing, no problem. Peradventure yours is like this. Okay, there is no problem about that. Thus hold down, thus press this and hold down your scroll mouse button. Okay, the scroll mouse button, which you can see, the scroll mouse button, hold it down, then drag the mouse up. So you notice when we are dragging, it's snapping to each grid. Okay, so when I take it up a little bit, so it snaps to the grid that I actually want it to snap to, which I'm okay by that. Alright, so then deselect this back again. Okay, so from this front view, just select anywhere within that area and press your space bar in order for you to see what we've done. So on your scroll button, your mouse button, scroll it backward in order for you to zoom out. Now this is the height of the mug we actually want to use, and which is set to the normal origin. So before we continue, it's very important you save your document. So let's press Ctrl S to save. So when we press Ctrl S to save, now you notice it took me back to the source image where I started, okay, to import. We don't want that. Just come here, okay, and select scene, okay, scene, and you notice it is YouTube mug tutorial scene. Then select, save this as mug, not say mug. I already have done this before, so I'll just save this as another name, mug1. Okay, at least I've created it before, so I've saved it as mug1. Now the next thing to do is to make sure I fit this side of the view to fit this this image, okay, so that since this is what I'll be modeling, using to model, then I need to also set this to fit that reference. Very important. So bring this up, and that's one of the major reasons why I draw this line, so that I can make sure it's fit on that grid line as well. So do this, okay, then somewhere here, so press R to scale, then scaling it down a little bit. Now that I'm done with the height, so it's mainly the wideness, so all I need to do is also to press the image, as you can see, and click on W, okay. So let me just close this, then W to expand it. I mean how to scale, and I click on W to move it now, okay. Again, just trying to scale it to fit that reference. Alright, so now that I have something closer to this is for the front view. Please make sure you save, then click on perspective. So on the perspective, this is what we are viewing, okay. So click on this icon once again, that's for the front view. So we actually want to import the top view as well, which is very important, and also the side view. But for now, we can just go ahead by importing all these other sides. Very okay as well. But since we made some adjustments to the height, to the depth, and to the size, okay, of this image, so it's always advisable, since the height is not reference to a scale, it's always advisable to duplicate this. Okay, so just duplicate it, that is Ctrl D to duplicate it. So once I duplicate it now, you notice if I should shift that, I have one at the behind, and this is a new one, okay. So when I do that, I actually want to get it set on this top view, so press E to rotate. Then when I flip it like this, you notice it's not getting visible on the top view. So once I'm trying to rotate it, you notice this is rotating, so that should be minus 90 degree. Okay, then press and click on this top view area and select enter. So once you select enter, please make sure you save. Hide this first one, that is this one, just hide that is Ctrl plus H. Then select this icon here, press W. We actually want to, this is the top, this is the bottom, so move this to this side, okay, somewhere like that. Remember, the cylinder has been set to a standard scale, so I need to also expand this image as well. Okay, so let's proceed. Now select this so that we can see the edges of the image of the model, okay, or should I say of the cylinder objects. Then press R to scale. So when I scale it, just trying to undo that, just trying to scale it in order for it to fit that reference. So from this place, I just drag it to have that, then W to move it in that direction. Okay, then just trying to make sure is we get what we're looking for. So W, then just trying to reduce it to that. Okay, once more again. Alright, let me see if I can release it a little bit, and I have this. Okay, alright, something like this. The top view is okay. Okay, then click on the perspective view. Now you notice this is the top view which you can see. So this is the front view. Shift H, let's rename this. So just double click on the image, then set input front space image or reference, then this, double click on it, input top space image, enter. Okay, so once that is done, then the next one, click on this icon again. The next one we need to use is the side view. Okay, the side view. So aside from inputting aside from duplicating this, then turning it in the direction you want, okay, you can as well do the same thing by clicking on this icon to import your reference image. But I prefer to use this in some cases. So select on this one first, then Ctrl D to duplicate. So I now have front image 1. Okay, so if I move it towards this direction, note I have the initial one here. Okay, so this is what I want to view this side here. So what I will just do at this junction is take it somewhere here, that is to the center here. Okay, then if I should press E on my keyboard, that is to rotate, then click on the green icon like this. As I'm clicking on it, you notice the how rotate is rotating of the image. So in order for me to have a perfect view, that should be 90 degrees as well. Okay, so click on anywhere in this icon here and select spacebar. So once you've selected spacebar there, then select on this, press W and move the curve to that direction, something like this. So that is because I've set this reference. That's one of the major reasons why I decided to import and import and import. But let's say I am not working based on the standard way of modeling. Okay, I could just select on the this icon, click on this, import the reference, click on this, import the reference, click on this, import the reference, and do whatever I want to do, just like this. But because I have actually set this first one based on the standard, so I have to just use that one to get what I need. Okay, in order to save time. All right, so before we start modeling, you will notice now we have the top, we have the side, and we have the front. So probably I'm trying to select on something and I mistakenly select this, or I'm trying to move this cylinder and I mistakenly move this, then which means my reference will not be okay. Okay, so at this junction here, you need to know how to make your reference still, okay, that is visible but not clickable. So to do that, what you need to do is on the channel box, if you can't see your channel box here, click on this icon. Okay, so let me reset this. Alright, so you click on this icon, the channel box, in order for you to view this. So select this icon here, which is this. Select this icon, this plus sign. So once you select the plus sign, double click on it, and let's rename it as REF, just like reference. Okay, and select save. So once you select save, you know this has been saved, but nothing has been done yet. Okay, so click on this icon to bring out your outline. Select those images we actually want to, we don't want to make it clickable again but visible. So once we've selected that, then from here right click and select add selected objects. So once that is done, if you press this icon, you notice it is T now. T stands for transparency. If you select this again, R stands for reference, and this is what we want. So once I click anywhere outside and I try to click on the image, okay, anywhere in the workspace, it is not clickable, but I can still click them here. I can still have access to click on it here and move it. Okay, so that is that. Alright, now let's start with the modeling of the cup. So from here, click on the front view and enter spacebar. Okay, then zoom it with your mouse button. So when we have this, okay, let me deselect this so you can see what I want to do, and I press 3 on my keyboard, you will notice something. Let me move to the perspective view. You notice something. I have something like, should I call a tomato shape? Okay, so which means in order for us to model this, we'll be working with smoothing. Okay, so we need to make sure we add some topologies in order to hold some edges for us, so that when we press 3 on the keyboard again to smooth it, it will give us a nice smoothing. Okay, so hold down 1 again, then move to the let me use this icon, so press this one, so you have the front view and the perspective view. So from here, open this. Now make sure you're on the modeling layout here and poly modeling. So select multi-cut. So if you're on this and you notice you didn't see anything, it's because you've actually scrolled your items. So what you need to do is to use your scroll button to scroll them down so that you can see it. So when you press scroll up, you won't see it. Scroll down, you will see all this. Then select your multi-cut tool. So from the multi-cut tool, and before we even use the multi-cut tool, press Q. Sorry about that. Before we use the multi-cut tool, we can still add some selected objects, because you know this is just normal plane, no topologies, no edges, alright, on it. So from the channel here, channel box here, click on it, select this object. Oh, I'm selecting the face. I want to select the object, so right click and drag your mouse to that icon, that is object mode. So once you do that, you select poly cylinder. When you select poly cylinder, you could see it says subdivision axis, division height, division cap. Okay, so the subdivision axis simply stands for the sides of the circle. Okay, so if you reduce this to a minimum amount of numbers, you will notice it reduced outrightly. Okay, so how did I do that? Just select this, select the area you actually want to reduce, then hold down your middle mouse button, that is the scroll button, then drag to increase the number to the right and drag to the left to decrease the number. Okay, so I'll leave it as 20, the default one. Then the subdivision height is actually talking about the subdivision you have here. So you just only have one, and that is the reason why you can't see anything in the middle here. So if I should press input this as 2, you notice now I now have a single one, because it starts from 0 to 1. Okay, so what I need to do now is I need about 10 of this. So press 10. So it has subdivided for me into 10 equal parts. Now first, if I now press 3 on the keyboard, you notice the lines are now holding the object from squishing to look like a tomato. Alright, so the more topologies you add, the more it holds the object from being squishing to look like a ball or a tomato. Okay, now that is done, press this again, press 1 on the keyboard, poly cylinder. Now the cap simply means this edge here, both the top and the bottom. That is the meaning of the cap. So if you click on this and have input 2, we won't be needing this for now. So you will notice it gives us something like this. Okay, it gives us something like this. So actually I will just leave it like this. Okay, just leave it like that, though I'll be adding more to it. So if I press 3 on the keyboard again, you notice a tremendous change. Alright, so let's proceed. Now that we have this, click on your front view. So if you want to see other things, you can actually just drag. When you have this icon, just drag to view to expand that place the more, so you can view other things down that are visible here. So it means if it is closed like this, you won't be able to see majority of it. So you can just do like this enough for you to see. So because I need this, so that's why I have to expand it a little bit, and I select this. Alright, so from here you can just deselect this for now. Then that is to drag around your work view. Hold down Alt with your middle mouse button to drag around, that is to pan around. Alright, like I said, all these are available in the Maya tutorial 101. Alright, so which you can actually watch. That's very important. So from here you press 1 on the keyboard to take it to the normal shape. Now we want to start the modeling aspect. So from here we could select the multi-cut tool now. Then so once I select the multi-cut tool, what it does, as its name implies, it cuts the edges, okay, the faces, the edges. So hold down Control, alright, somewhere around here. So by doing that, it has given me Q to deselect that. It has given me a round object. If you notice, a round cut. Okay. So if I select this now, because I actually want to see what I'm doing, then right click and select face. Click on this face, the second face. On the third face, just double click on it. So it's going to loop it around that area. Alright. So you notice that from this image you see here, or should I bring out this scope, you notice this edge actually shoots out a little bit. Okay. So by doing so, I can actually just extrude it. Okay, enough for it to come out a little bit, because this is a straight, you see here it's somehow straight, but coming out here it's been extruded. So that's one of the essence of you having a reference, so that you won't miss all those details. So it's a little bit extruded. So to achieve that, on the polygon icon here in modeling, you select this icon, which is extrude, or the shortcut is Ctrl+E. Okay, so select this to extrude. So when you select this to extrude, now you see this icon here. Just in case this did not show for you, all you need to do, let's say it did not show, all you need to do is to, or you mistakenly deselect something. So come back to the right click, go to object mode, then select on this last one, which is poly extrude. Click on it. When you click on it, then select T on the keyboard. This will surely come back. Okay, so from there you can now extrude that face. So I actually want to the thickness. So if I do this now, on the thickness, select thickness and hold down my middle mouse button, and drag, you notice it's expanding, isn't it? Okay, it's expanding way more faster, which I don't want. So to make sure I have control over it, just select this to something like this. Okay, so you could see that circle. Now when I do that again, it will go much more smaller, I mean in terms of the expansion, and enough for me to have control over it. Okay, so that is that. Now if I should press 3 on the keyboard, you will notice something, that an edge has been extruded, just like what you can see presently. Okay, so press 1 on the keyboard again. Then from here we are done with that. So what you need to do is, on this place now, we actually want to take this inside the edge, that is this inner part. Okay, the inner part. So to do that, what you need to do on your perspective view, select this, right click and select face. Okay, when you select face, hold down this. So when you are trying to select faces, and you are clicking on the faces, that's the meaning of the face. Okay, so if you want to select multiple faces at the same time, once you right click and select face, hold down your tab, hold down the tab, that is the tab button on your keyboard. Then you see a plus sign, that is, you move it to the next icon, you see a plus sign, then just move around that region. Okay, and you can also do the same thing, also move around the region you actually want to extrude. Alright, now we've done that, I want to see where I'll be extruding inward. Okay, so from here, press Ctrl E, or you press this icon to extrude. So once you do that, you notice the icon is up here. Then I could just press W. Okay, press W to take the pivot to the center and take it inside. So I will notice that there's something like a black area, which means that this this icon, should I say this image here and this one, are somehow visible. Okay, I mean they are on the same layer. So undo that a little bit. Okay, let me undo that a little bit. Go back to the channel box, right click, objects, channel box, then Ctrl T. Okay, so let me offset it a little bit. Instead of just taking it downward, let me offset it a little bit. Alright, so offsetting simply means bringing it closer a little bit. So click on offset, then drag a little bit. Okay, so when I do that and I try to look at it on my smooth preview, when I press 3, okay, I could see it's giving me a good result. Then just smooth it probably to 0.15. Okay, now that we have that, so if I decide now to press W again without selecting the face, then you notice the pivot is going down to the origin where we we position it the last time. So select, right click and select face again. So at this junction, we now need to extrude this face inward again. Alright, so right click and select face. Okay, so from here, let's select everything at the same time. So select this, select this, select this. Then you can hold on your tab to just speed things up. Okay, to speed things up. So once that is done, then you press Ctrl E. We actually want to take it down. You can just press this, you can just use this, okay, to take it down, no problem. Or you can press W and put the arrow down, all well and good. So you notice as we are taking it down, the local axis is actually going down with it. So we're taking it downward, probably just use W, no problem, it's all the same. Okay, then taking it down, let's say to somewhere here. Okay, so the reason why I can't take it down to the bottom is because like this is because we have an indent. Okay, this base at this bottom here goes in also. It's not that flat at the bottom, it also goes in. Okay, it also goes in. Yes, now aside from having the physical reference, it's also visible in the object here. Okay, it goes in. So that's why it's always important you have a lot of reference in order for you to know what you actually was trying to model. It's very, very important. So let me take it somewhere here. Somewhere here is okay. Somewhere there is okay. So if I should press 3 on the keyboard again, for now let me hide the top image. That is, you know what I did there? Hold this, then press Ctrl+H. Now that the top image is being hidden, okay, so you will notice I have something like this. Getting better, but still we still have a lot to do on it. Okay, so you could see that it's beginning to give us what we want, which is nice. All right, so let's proceed, shall we? So press 1 on your keyboard. Now after you press 1 on the keyboard, let me go back to 3 to get something. Okay, 1 on the keyboard. All right, then we can actually leave it at this junction so that we can see what we are doing. Now we want to make sure that the inside of this cup is not circular like this. From what you could see here, you notice it's somehow circular here, and that is not how the cup is. The cup actually goes in. Inside of the cup is flat. Inside of the cup is what? Is flat. So which means that we need to actually add more edge to the side in order for it to give us something like this. So to do that, first right click and select edge, then click on this edge, then on the third one double click on it, so it will give you a loop. Okay, that is, it selects everything in that area. Alright, so from here now we want to add more edges to the side. There are various ways to do it. We can use the multi-cut tool and also use other ones to do it. So let me show you what I'm trying to say. So if I select this and I select multi-cut tool and I hold down my control to give me to start cutting. Okay, to start cutting. Now at this junction, my lines, the edges, the topologies are not of equal intervals, which I don't want. And that is it. As a 3D modeling artist, you must make sure you have proper topologies. It's very, very important. So in order for me to have that, so what I could do is hold down Q to deselect the multi-cut tool, then make sure I'm on edge view, then select the edge, the second one, and double click on the third one. So when I've done that, hold down Shift, right click, and select this one that says connect to, not this connect component, connect to. Once you do that, you notice it gives you just one, and we want various ones. So from it, move outside from that object, hold down your mouse, then drag to the right. The more you drag to the right, the more it increases the cut. Okay, so I think 3 is okay for now. Then press Q to move out from that. Once I've pressed Q, nothing really has changed, but a lot has changed. let us deselect the multi-cut tool, because if we do not deselect the multi-cut tool, you notice to still show us this knife arrow of the thing, which we don't want. So press Q on the keyboard to deselect, okay, to cut out of that command. Once that is done, right click objects and click anywhere outside, and now for you to see what you've done so far. So you could notice that it's the base now is now flat based on what we want here. The base now is now flat based on what we want here, and you can as well see it from this place. Okay, so having done that, then we can now move to the next one, that is at the base here. Okay, the base, that is this bottom here. This bottom here, we can also move to this bottom. Alright guys, now at this junction we have this. So let's move on to the base. So I want to start working on this base, but I notice I have a grid line here. So what I can just do to remove that or to hide that is by selecting this icon here. So that's hide that from the perspective view, but it's still visible in the front view here. So if I want to deselect the front view as well, I'll just select this. Okay, so I'll leave that there for now. Now the same thing, since I have the cup visible, so I can just eyeball it. Okay, because normally we are meant to move this front view, we are meant to shift to the top view. Okay, that is from this icon we move to the top view, then select enter. That is, again, when you click on that arrow, just click anywhere around that region and press your space bar to get to view it once. Okay, now from here we have this, but we can't see the top image. Why? It's because we've hide it before. So click on it and select Shift H to unhide it. Shift H to what? To unhide it. Now this is the bottom. Okay, so we can actually move to the bottom part. This is the top. We've just done the top, but from the bottom we can actually move to the bottom part by selecting, hold down your space bar, click on Maya, then click on bottom view. Yeah, just drag it to that side. So you notice we are in the bottom. That's why you see bottom here. So I can now drag my image to this side to start working on the bottom, but really for now I don't really need that because I will just eyeball it. Okay, I will just eyeball it. I can't actually know how deep this thing actually went to, so we'll just eyeball it. Okay, so to do that, click on perspective back, then from the perspective click on this double icon. Okay, so from here I love working in both perspective and the front view, so that I can actually see what I'm doing faster. So just hide this, hide it. The main reason why we got the top view is because we actually want to get the wideness, okay, how wide it is. So that's one of the major reasons we brought that reference inside. So from here now, we'll do the same thing by selecting the edges. Okay, to select it, to select the faces. So right click, press face, and hold down your tab and drag. Again, hold down your tab and drag. Okay, so press 1 on the keyboard to take it back to the normal heart shape. Okay, so you notice, if you can see this, you notice it has a little bit curve inside. Okay, although when you press 3 on the keyboard it gives you that. Okay, so we also need to define that smooth edge, and aside from the smooth edge, if you notice there's a little bit base, this base here, so it's a little bit, it is being extruded outward a little bit. Okay, so we'll also do that. Now first, after selecting all these faces, hold down R on the keyboard, then use this icon here. Okay, once you press R, just try to drag it inside. That is from this icon here. Let me take it back again. So from this icon here, once you press R on your keyboard, just try to scale it inside to give you that this stuff you need here, this smooth edge here. So hold down one on the keyboard for you to see what you are doing. Okay, so once that is done, then you press Ctrl E or the extrude button here to extrude. So it means we've gotten this now. Are you with me? Then we actually want to extrude inside. Then we'll come. Then after that, we will now get this edge here. Okay. So to do that, we'll click on offset. Then click on offset. Then so anywhere in the layout, hold down your middle mouse button and drag. So you notice something is happening at that perspective area. Okay, so somewhere like this is okay. Alright, then once that is done, that is for, we assume this is for this place. What we just extruded now is for this, from here to here. So we need to now take it inside again. So if we try to take it inside like this, then to give us this, which we don't want. Okay, the edge is not as sharp as that. Alright, so let me unzoom do that. Okay, so from here now we need to extrude again. So to do that, press this extrude button once more again. Then you can just use this arrow to take it inside, or W to take it inside. Just take it inside like this. So now as I'm taking it off, I'm also looking at this place here, because I noticed that if I should take it inside very high like that, it will be visible here, which we don't want. Okay, so bring it down to somewhere here. Okay, somewhere here is okay. Then when we do that now, then we press 3 on the keyboard. You notice we are having something similar to what we wanted. Okay, yes, we have something similar to what we want. Now from there, to define this add edge here, this little bit add edge here, so you need to use the multi-cut tool. So, or peradventure, we make use of the connect tool, since we are going to be using about 2 edges at the same time. So what we'll do is right click, select edge. Please always make sure you save your work. Then select this first edge, Q, select the second edge, then the third one, double click on it. From there, right click and select connect to. Now you notice it's giving us about 3 here, because the last time we used it was 3. So we don't want 3 now, we want 2. So hold down your middle mouse button, then drag to the left, okay, to give you 2. Then press Q to enter. So once that is done, you will notice now that it has made that place a little bit more flat, that is what we actually want. Now we need to now extrude. You need to now extrude it out a little bit, or push it out a little bit, to give us this shape we actually want here. Okay, so to do that, right click and select face, then face, that is, then double click on the third one to give you a loop. Okay, so if we then press W, let's see if I try to bring it down now, it gives me that, but we undo that and just use Ctrl E to extrude. So if I extrude, Then I will have W to bring it down a little bit. Okay, yes, a little bit. Okay, yes. So that is it, and as you can see, it has given us that edge. All right, now that we've gotten this, the next thing to do is to work out this handle. All right, so it's also as easy as ABC. All right, guys, now to work out the handle is quite simple, like I said. So let's bring out this view also. Now you will notice this is the front view. Okay, so we can actually work with the front view to get this. Okay, we'll use the side view. You understand that very soon. We'll use the side view to work to get our image out. Okay, let me quickly explain that. First, this is the curve. Okay, and on the front view, for the front view, this is what you are seeing. You are seeing this as well. Okay, so but normally it should be on the side, so we have to use the side view to work it out. Yes, I can actually use the front to get this. Okay, but if I need to do it, okay, then this is the front view where you can see the side. I don't know if you understand, but I'll make sure this is how I took the picture. So which means the front view, from the front view you can also see the curve at the side view as well. So that's why it looks as if both this and this sides are in common. Okay, so no problem, we can use either of the two, but remember, if I should use the side view, you can also use the front view, but note, it is better to use the side view. Okay, all right, so it's better to use the side view when you have image that gives you side. Okay, for example, from an image where I created one of my let me see, that should be on desktop. All right, so if I can't get that, I'll just show you this. Might not. Okay, let me just show you this. So you know, this is a front view, this is a side view. So at this junction, if you actually want to model the year, okay, then you need to switch to the side view, and that's why you see right. Okay, so but for the sake of this tutorial, both the front view and the side view looks alike, and I hope this is it is well explanatory now. Okay, so let's get back to Maya. So from here, just double click on this, then right click to select face. So let me deselect this so I can see what I want to select. So I'll just click on this, okay, and I click on this. So these two parts, a point here, the second face here. Okay, so once that is done, immediately press this one to extrude it. Then from the offset here, click on offset, drag it somewhere, something like this. Okay, and once that is done, select offset again, select offset again. Once that is done, select extrude. After extruding, press W to move it forward. So once we've done that, you notice the shape is not really given, it's not really straight. So to make sure it's straight, before we continue, from here, press down R and drag this out the back, so it will give us a nice straight edge. Okay, so once that is done, mind you, always check that your face is set to on. Okay, keep all faces on. It must be on, not off. Very, very important. Okay, so let's see how to go about this. So what we do first is W to move back a little bit, to draw this thing back a little bit. Then another Control E again, that is, or you press this to extrude, then you move it forward. Okay, so by moving it forward, so we want to get this this shape. So what I'll do first is deselect this one, Control E, that is, sorry, E to rotate it in this direction. Okay, once I've rotated in that direction, then come down to this place as well, here and here. Also E, that is, which is also in rotate, then move it up a little bit like this, somewhere out, E, rotate a little bit. Alright, so once that is done, then from here you press this face as well. We want to bridge it. So when we bridge it, we will have a cup handle, and from there we can now what, express this. Okay, move it to this shape. So to do that, hold down Shift, right click, and press bridge face. So once we do that, you notice immediately that's giving us a bridge here. So in order for us to have this circular curve, make sure you could just crank up this division to probably, let's say, 9. So once you crank up that division to around 9, okay, then we can now start moving it in that direction. Should I say 9? Probably 9 is too much, probably 7. Okay, so always try to work with low polys as possible. Alright, it really helps a lot with low topologies. It really helps a lot. So from here now, press Ctrl Save, press Ctrl S to save, then right click and press vertex. So from here we will now start adjusting all this to fit the image. So drag, press W to move. Okay, so I can drag these two guys to move, then this to move it to this side, also move this to this side, drag this to move it somewhere here. Okay, I can also drag this, move it, drag this, move this, drag this, move it somewhere here. So drag, move this, drag, move this. Okay, so now you can see how it's beginning to give us that shape we actually wanted, right? So from here, so this has to come down somewhere here. Okay, then this should be here, this also, just to get that shape. So peradventure I need one cut here. So cut from here, I need a cut here, but I want it to, if you notice, if I just do this, it will just give the cut without nothing, but I want it to give me that a particular edge flow. So undo that, Ctrl Z to undo that. Now double click on this icon, hold down Control and double click on it to bring out a 2 settings. Okay, then select edge flow. Alright, so when you select edge flow and you apply the cut again, you notice it gives us an edge flow now. It blends with what was coming before, not just adding a cut, but now blending it with it. Okay, so from here, press save. We have this W to move down to this side, and also we move down to this side. From here we move down, like we move it to this side. Okay, so let's see what we've done so far. This is what we've done so far. Alright, this is what we've done so far. So if I should smooth it, press 3 on your keyboard, you should have something like this. Okay, but this edge of the handle is too wide, and that's not how this is okay. It's not as wide as that. So press 1 again on the keyboard, and let us try to match this thing up with what we have here. Okay, so from here, let me drag this. So I notice it has a thickness of this edge here. This place comes down a little bit. So take this from here, then just drag it down like this. Okay, from here also drag this down. Okay, so from here, Ctrl Shift, then to move to slide the edge, slide it on the edge. Okay, undo. So let me see if I can just try to bring this down a bit, then leave it like that. Okay, so you notice from what we have now, if I press D on the keyboard, it begins to form what we want over there. So let me see again. From here, let's drag this down. Okay, so you can see now we now have something like that. Okay, so to work out this edge, the thickness here is too wide, so let's do that right. Okay guys, so let's look at the top view. Let's see if we could find something based on that reference. Let me see, let me unhide this image. Okay, so you notice the thickness of this edge. Can you see that it's not as so wide as this? Okay, it's not as so wide as this, so it should be something within this, something like this. Okay, so to do that, no problem, just select on it. Okay, select one to move back, to move out from the smooth object, and select one. Okay, then right click and select vertices. So go back to the tool view. So from here, hold down Shift and drag to select multiple vertices. So this, just shift and drag. I don't need this. This is not there. This is not necessary. So I also need this edge here. Okay, this edge is as well needed. Okay, oops, I noticed there are some selection here, so you need to be very careful. You need to be very careful to see that you didn't select the wrong vertex. Okay, then drag also. So you hold down Shift, then drag. Okay, so I still need this edge and this edge, likewise this edge and this edge. Okay, alright, now that we have those edges here, we can as well shift all these images. Okay, so let me just, which one is this? The front. Okay, so the front is the side, that is side image. So for the side image should be, I can just adjust that somewhere here, so not to block what we are doing. Okay, so not to block what we are doing. Let me see. Yes, that's no effect with what we are doing here. Okay, and that's no effect with what we are doing there actually. Alright, so from here now, select this, right click vertices, so it still selects the previous, what you've selected there before. So let's try to just reduce it. Hold down R to scale, then take it inside like this, but make sure you're not selecting another thing. Okay, so let's select it something like this. Okay, let me see. D on the keyboard. Okay. Alright. So if I should press run back, so if it's screenshot here. Okay. Nevertheless, we can still fix that. So now we have this area we are looking for. I mean the thickness, how wide it is okay now. So you can decide to just deselect all this. Hold down Control and drag. Okay, by holding down Control and drag, we have this one to just bring this out. Okay, I notice it looks as if it's going in, and which I don't want that. Okay, so W, move it a little bit out. Okay, so to make sure it looks okay, and I think this is better. This is far more better. So W now. Okay, this is good. Okay, save. Alright, so from here you can now continue to readjust to make sure it's properly fits the image given to you. Press shift to slide across the edge of that image, just to drag like this. Okay, so it's as easy as that, and I believe you should be able to do it as well. Okay, now we are almost done. Okay, so from here, let me save this. Let me hide, should I say this? Let me hide this, the front view. So if you look at this now, from what we've done so far, this is it. This is exactly what you are expected to do. Okay, so I would love to see you guys work now. So that is how to model a cup or a mug. Okay, now the next class we will talk about how to add this color to the model. That is how to UV wrap your model. Okay, you can't just add color to the model without properly having a UV layout. Okay, so it is very important. So in the next class we'll talk more about how that is being done and how you can achieve it. Okay, so I would love to see your models as well. Yes, so I have a group which I will be expecting you guys to drop your models so that I can see. Thank you so much for your time. Please, in case you have any question, kindly leave your question in the comment section below, and I will try my most possible best to answer this question. Bye for now.